There is a bottle sitting in almost every medicine cabinet right now that can replace nearly every cleaning product hiding under your kitchen sink. It costs about $1. It has existed for more than 200 years, and the cleaning industry has quietly spent decades hoping you would never work out what it can really do. That little brown bottle of hydrogen peroxide, the one your grandmother poured over a scraped knee before doctors told her to stop, is one of the most powerful household cleaners ever discovered. It kills bacteria. It destroys mold. It pulls stains out of fabric without wrecking the fabric itself. It disinfects surfaces without leaving a single drop of toxic residue behind. And when its work is done, it breaks down into exactly two things: plain water and pure oxygen. Nothing else. No chemical film on your counters. No fumes stinging your lungs. No warning label telling you to call poison control. Meanwhile, the average family spends somewhere between $400 and $700 every year on cleaning products packed with ingredients they cannot even pronounce. Your grandmother never needed 17 different sprays lined up under the sink like a chemical arsenal. She needed one bottle and a little knowledge that nobody bothered to pass down. Today, that knowledge comes back. If you love rediscovering old methods that quietly worked better than the modern replacements, subscribe right now, because this channel digs up the secrets the shopping aisle hopes you never learn. And comment below with one cleaning product you would happily stop buying forever, because we read every comment and build our next videos around them. Start in the kitchen, because that is where the stakes are highest and the payoff comes fastest. Your cutting board, the one that held raw chicken last Sunday before getting a quick wipe with a soapy sponge, is almost certainly still hosting bacteria you cannot see, smell, or taste. Soap is good at lifting grease and loose food, but it does not reliably kill germs like salmonella or E. coli hiding in the grooves and knife scratches of wood or worn plastic. Hydrogen peroxide does. After washing the board with soap and water, pour ordinary 3% hydrogen peroxide straight onto the surface. Let it sit until you see it fizz and bubble. That fizzing is not just for show. It is oxygen being released as the peroxide tears apart the microorganisms clinging to the board. Then rinse with clean water and you are done. Health authorities confirm that hydrogen peroxide works against bacteria, viruses, fungi, and mold spores on hard surfaces when you give it enough contact time. In 5 to 10 undisturbed minutes handles most common household germs. That same power works all over your kitchen. Mix peroxide half and half with water in a dark, opaque spray bottle, because light slowly weakens peroxide, and you now own a true disinfectant for countertops, refrigerator shelves, and door seals, the greasy inside of your microwave, sink basins, faucet handles, and cabinet pulls. $1 bottle has just replaced your counter spray, your board sanitizer, your appliance cleaner, and your fridge deodorizer. That is 4 products gone for the price of a coffee. And here is something bleach companies would rather skip past. Chlorine bleach contains no grease-cutting agents, so it cannot properly disinfect a dirty surface. It needs someone to clean first. Most people never do that step, so they spray bleach over a greasy counter and simply seal the filth under a chemical film. Peroxide cleans and disinfects in one single pass, because its oxidizing action breaks down the grime itself on contact. Now step into the bathroom, because this is where peroxide truly separates itself from everything else on the shelf. The bathroom is where people instinctively grab the harshest chemicals they own. And yes, bleach is a strong disinfectant. Nobody argues that. But bleach has one fatal weakness, and it happens to be the exact problem bathrooms suffer from most: mold. Bleach performs beautifully on smooth sealed surfaces, like glass and glazed tile. But grout is porous, silicone caulk is porous, and so is the drywall behind your vanity. When you spray bleach on moldy grout, it kills the surface layer and whitens the stain so everything looks clean. But the chlorine molecule is too large to sink into the porous material, where the living root structure of the mold, called hyphae, keeps quietly spreading underneath. Give it 2 weeks, and the mold returns in the exact same spot, because you treated the symptom and never touched the disease. Published research testing common cleaners against indoor fungi found that hydrogen peroxide inhibits fungal growth on solid surfaces and can reach into semi-porous materials where bleach simply cannot go. Its smaller, lighter molecule seeps deeper into grout and caulk, down where the mold actually lives. So spray undiluted 3% peroxide directly onto moldy grout or caulk. Let it sit untouched for 10 to 15 minutes while the fizzing does its work. Then scrub with a stiff brush and wipe clean. For heavy buildup that has darkened over months or years, mix a thick paste using 3 parts baking soda to 1 part peroxide. Spread it generously into the grout lines. Wait 15 minutes, then scrub. The baking soda loosens the surface grime, while the peroxide kills what lives underneath. Your toilet gets the same easy treatment. Pour half a cup of peroxide into the bowl, walk away for 20 minutes, then scrub and flush. No burning fumes, no rubber gloves, and no risk of accidentally creating toxic chlorine gas, because another product was already sitting in the bowl. That danger is very real in homes that mix cleaners without knowing it. And give your kitchen sponge, one of the dirtiest objects you own, a 10-minute soak in peroxide. Rinse it well, and the microbial colony growing inside it is mostly gone. Same bottle, still $1. If your grandmother ran her home with one trusty bottle like this, tell that story in the comments, because those memories are exactly what this channel is built on. Now the laundry room, and this is where the industry has truly pulled a fast one on families. Walk down the detergent aisle and look at the bright boxes labeled oxygen bleach, oxy boosters, color safe powder, or stain lifting crystals. Turn any of those boxes around and read the ingredient list. The working ingredient in most of them is sodium percarbonate, which is nothing more than hydrogen peroxide locked into a dry powder bonded with washing soda. The moment it dissolves in your machine, it releases plain hydrogen peroxide. And that peroxide is the entire magic trick. The fizzing, the lifting, the brightening, all of it. You have been buying peroxide in a decorated cardboard box for years and paying many times the price for it. Here is what the plain dollar bottle can do instead. Add 1 cup of 3% peroxide to the bleach compartment, along with your normal detergent. Your whites brighten noticeably, without the slow yellowing that chlorine causes over time. And your clothes last longer, because chlorine bleach chemically attacks fibers like cotton, wool, silk, and spandex until shirts thin out and towels fall apart early. Peroxide reaches a similar whitening effect through a far gentler pathway. For a stubborn single stain, whether blood, red wine, grass, coffee, or sweat, mix 2 parts peroxide with 1 part liquid dish soap. Work it into the stain, wait 5 to 10 minutes, then wash as usual. Blood reacts almost instantly, because peroxide targets the iron inside hemoglobin and breaks the stain apart at its chemical foundation. Fresh blood can vanish in seconds while you watch it fizz. Remember all of this the next time you stand in front of a $12 stain remover, whose active ingredient is, once again, repackaged peroxide. We spent a long time putting together a complete guide for people like you, people who know the old ways worked and want everything organized in one place. If you are watching on your phone or computer, the link is right below. If you are watching on your TV, grab your phone and point the camera at the code on screen. Every year more of this knowledge disappears, and this is how we make sure it does not. Now here is a use most people have never even considered. Fill a large bowl or sink with cold water and add a 1/4 cup of 3% peroxide. Submerge your fruits and vegetables completely for 1 to 2 minutes. Then rinse them well and let them dry. The peroxide works 2 jobs at once, killing surface bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella on contact, while also helping break down and release pesticide residue from the skin. Food science research has shown peroxide-based washes can remove a large share of common agricultural pesticides, with some studies reporting removal above 70% for certain compounds. And officials have approved hydrogen peroxide as a sanitizer in organic food production, which tells you plenty about how safe it is around what you eat. As a bonus, washed produce often lasts noticeably longer in the fridge, because the bacteria and mold spores that trigger early spoilage are gone. Now let us walk outside to the garden, because peroxide has a role out here that almost nobody talks about. If you have ever lost a plant to root rot, and nearly every gardener has, you know the helpless feeling of watching something die from a cause you cannot see. Leaves yellow and curl, stems go soft, and a faint sour smell rises from the pot. By the time you see those signs above the soil, the roots below are already brown and mushy. Root rot comes from fungi like Pythium, Phytophthora, and Fusarium, which thrive in waterlogged soil where oxygen has run out. The usual advice is to water less, but by then the infection has spread too far for dry soil alone to save the plant. Hydrogen peroxide attacks root rot from two directions at once, and that is why it works as an emergency rescue. Its oxidizing action directly kills the fungi causing the decay, and as it breaks down in the wet soil, it releases free oxygen straight into the root zone, the exact thing suffocating roots need most. Mix 1 part 3% peroxide with 2 parts water, and pour it slowly and evenly through the soil of the sick plant. Let the pot drain fully, and do not water again until the top 2 inches of soil feel dry. Repeat once a week until you see fresh white root tips replacing the brown tissue. And here is a detail that connects all of this back to nature. Hydrogen peroxide occurs naturally in rainwater because falling drops pick up extra oxygen through reactions with ozone and sunlight high in the atmosphere. That is a real part of why plants look so alive after a storm compared to a drink from the tap. It is not just the water, it is the oxygen boost riding along with it. One honest warning though, because leaving it out would be wrong. Peroxide is an indiscriminate oxidizer, and it cannot tell harmful fungi apart from the beneficial microbes healthy soil depends on. If you have spent years building rich living soil with compost, do not pour peroxide through it routinely. Use it as a targeted rescue for sick plants only, never as a weekly supplement. And that difference genuinely matters. And somewhere in your life, right now, there is a person who needs this video. A sibling who grows food, a neighbor who mixes their own cleaners, a friend who always said the old ways knew something. Send it to them, no explanation needed. Now for a use that sounds strange for about 5 seconds, and then makes perfect sense. Your mattress, you spend about a third of your life on it, which adds up to nearly 3,000 hours of direct body contact every single year. All those hours, your body sheds skin cells, oils, sweat, and moisture straight into the fabric. Dust mites, invisible creatures that feed on shed skin, colonize mattresses by the millions, with estimates running from 100,000 up to 10 million mites in a single used mattress. Their waste particles are among the most common triggers of indoor allergies and nighttime congestion. Millions of people wake up stuffy every morning and blame the weather, when the real culprit is the surface they slept on. You cannot wash a mattress, but you can fill a dark spray bottle with undiluted 3% peroxide, lightly mist the whole surface in a steady pattern, and let it air dry completely before the sheets go back on. The peroxide kills mites on contact, breaks down the allergenic proteins they leave behind, and lifts away old sweat odors without adding any fake perfume of its own. Do it every time you rotate your mattress, roughly every 3 to 4 months. The same trick works on pillows, couch cushions, car seats, and dining chairs that get daily use. And if little grandchildren visit your home, the same bottle safely sanitizes their plastic and rubber toys. Soak the toys 10 minutes in equal parts warm water and peroxide, rinse, and air dry, leaving no chemical film for small hands to carry into small mouths. It even clears the slimy pink film that grows inside humidifier tanks every winter. Which brings us to the single most important practical detail of this entire video, and it is the one almost everyone gets wrong. That dark brown bottle peroxide comes in is not a design choice. It is critical to the product working at all. Peroxide breaks down when light hits it, especially sunlight, so always use an opaque or dark tinted spray bottle. Store the original container in a cool dark cabinet, and pay attention to age, because even sealed peroxide slowly loses strength over time. A quick test: pour a splash into the sink, and if it fizzes on contact, it is still alive, and if it sits silent, it has already turned to plain water. From bleaching hats in old Berlin workshops to killing mold and washing produce in kitchens today, hydrogen peroxide has quietly remained one of the most useful and least appreciated liquids ever bottled. We covered cutting boards and grout, laundry and stains, produce and root rot, mattresses and toys, and the storage rules that keep the whole system working. Through every single one, the same dollar bottle kept showing up as the answer nobody in the cleaning aisle wanted you to find. The supermarket wants you to believe simple is never enough. that every room needs its own specialized spray. Your grandmother knew better. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is what we do. We go back and recover what worked before the modern world decided it knew better. So subscribe right now so the next lost secret reaches you. Leave a like if this earned it. And comment the first thing you are going to try, because your answer decides what we dig up next.